So welcome to a new video, and again we're here on the site of the former Marsh Lane station, which was Leeds' first station. What we're going to be looking at today is the famous tunnel that started right here, known as the Richmond Hill Tunnel, and it has a rather interesting story to it because today it is no longer a tunnel. So here we are, just a bit further up from the Marsh Lane station site, and on top of what is now one of the portals for the only remaining section of tunnel of the original Richmond Hill Tunnel. You can see from the Great Wall here, this is the portal, so the tunnel is directly beneath us here. All these businesses today are built across the tunnel, and it's only a short section, around 100 yards. But on this network rail sign here, you can see it's still referred to as the Richmond Hill Tunnel. And I'm going to show you over this wall, because the original Richmond Hill Tunnel was 700 yards long. But if you look down there, you can see it's no longer a tunnel. So what happened? Why is it not a tunnel anymore? Let's cut to a bit of history about this tunnel. The Richmond Hill Tunnel was the first tunnel in the world specifically designed to carry passengers by a steam engine. It opened in 1834 at over 700 yards long. It proved a challenge to dig the tunnel through old coal mines, rock and shale, but it was still built in just under 2 years. As railway tunnels were in their infancy, passengers would be scared travelling through them, and so they tried to reassure the passengers by placing copper sheets under the air shafts and whitewash the walls to reflect the light around the tunnel, making it less daunting. In 1894, the North Eastern Railway Company wanted to widen the tunnel to carry 5 lines. Instead, they demolished most of the tunnel and made it into a 60-foot wide cutting. They had to build 4 bridges over the lines to carry existing roads above, and kept a small 118-yard section of tunnel. This was due to it having a large school and 3 roads on top. This became known as the Marsh Lane Tunnel. All the terraced houses built above the tunnel were rebuilt elsewhere, which meant that they could also slope the cutting efficiently to support the high sides. So let's have a look at the site today. I've made it round the other side of that wall, and you can clearly see the tunnel portal just through there, which is used today, like I say, for the mainline trains coming out of Leeds heading towards York. And the railway cutting is down there somewhere, all very deep these days. Yeah, like I said in that footage, this was all a tunnel originally, and believed to have been one of the first in the world railway tunnels to carry passengers hauled by steam locomotives. But today it's a series of bridges heading up out of Leeds and towards what is today the Neville Hill Depot, which is a very large network rail train depot just up here. And as we follow the route of the old tunnel, you can see again a boundary wall here to stop you heading down that steep drop there onto the tracks. Not that you would, it's very steep, but like I said, this would have been open fields on top of it, or houses actually. I think it was terraced houses, and the tunnel headed underneath those houses, those streets, unbeknownst to people what was below them. Now if I just zoom in for you down there, you can see the original tunnel wall on the edge, and you could see where the tunnel roof would have been, the lining at the top. That's how deep the tunnel was, probably 100 feet down, but nothing more than steep banking either side of it now, and all opened up. But it is really hard to get footage of that cutting from here. It's all overgrown and fenced off. So what I'm going to do at the end of this video, I'm going to put a load of pictures in for you to show you what it looks like down there. Just found a better position just off Pontefract Street. You can see how deep that cutting is down there, and how big the bridges are now to span that cutting. Like I said, they wouldn't have been there. That was a tunnel. And I don't know if you can see that from here, but I'm going to try zoom in for you. They've still got the recesses in the wall from what were inside the tunnel at one point. Now I was just wondering why, when I filmed the Marsh Lane station video and this one today, I haven't seen a single train heading out of Leeds station. I've been around here pretty much all afternoon and I haven't seen one. And Leeds is very busy, and I've just realised why. They're striking today. That's why there's no trains. I did wonder why. So what I'm going to do is put a clip in for you now of a quick cab ride through this cutting on a train. We've made our way further up the line now and up to where we can view what is the Neville Hill Yard. As you can see, lots of lines there and lots of trains stored up here. Your zoomers I can see, and an old HST up there, and then the other way, which would head down towards what was the Richmond Hill Tunnel just round the corner there. And like I said, I think this Neville Hill Yard has always been here as far back as when the railway started. But I just want to draw your interest, just something just ahead there. If I zoom in for you now, there is a branch line that leaves these lines here and heads down into that tunnel, which you can just see in the distance. Now, if you remember when I covered the old Holbeck viaduct, or the swing bridge that never swung, and we did the goods site there, and also the access down, that is where the line left, the main line here, and headed down through that tunnel and made its way down towards Hunslet and the swing bridge. Another interesting fact as well is that this mound here that I'm stood on, which is at the back of East Park in Leeds, it's quite a big mound. I'm told that this is all the spoil that was dug out, either for the original tunnel or when they widened it into a cutting just further down here. But also worth noting, the reason the yard is absolutely ram-packed with trains, like I said earlier, I think there's strikes on today and there's no trains running apart from empty trains like the one down here. Just before we end the video, I'm going to get the drone up because it's very calm today. We'll get some shots of the Neville Hill Yard and all the trains parked up in there. I hope you enjoyed our little visit to the Richmond Hill Tunnel. I know it was a short video, but it was a different story that had to be told. I'll see you next week in the next one. Bye for now.